Jules here from Joolsedesigns at JT Creation. So what we're doing today is it's part of the beginner friendly. We're working with pretty papers. So this is my bee journal, not like the albums that I've done in the past, but yes, we have 10 pages. And what I want to do is I want to put sort of like a crisscross pocket on here so that I can put some tags and bits and pieces. The page is 5 3/4, so I want the tags, the pockets at 5 1/2. Yeah, 5 1/2, because I want them in a little bit. And I've got pretty papers here. Now this is 5 3/4 when I fold it in half, because this is how I make these papers. Now what I want is I want a small one coming in there and the same size going in there. So what I'm going to do, I think that's about the height I want it, so I'm going to measure that. So that's 3 1/4. So are we to make it 3 or are we to make it 3 1/2? We'll make it 3 1/2. So I'm going to cut this down to 3 1/2 and I'm going to cut it in half there. Right, so I've got one there and one there. So that's my first pocket. I've got some book page here, and I think I am going to go with the book page. I want that. That was 3 1/2. So should we make this one? So that's 3 1/2. Should we make the next one 4 1/2? So I'm going to cut 2 strips out at 4 1/2. So we've got that, and then I've got a deeper paper. So I think we will have 3. So that's 3 1/2, 4 1/2. We'll do this one at 5 1/2. Again, I'm folding it in the middle. All right, so there we have our pockets. These, I'm going to trim them down a little bit. Okay, so we've got and they are going to go they will be straighter than this, but it's just to give you an idea. Like that. So what I need to do is, this is 3.5. Now what I want to decide is where do I want this at 3 and take it down just 1/2 inch, or do I want it at 2.5 and take it down at, I think that's what I'm going to do, is take it down 1 inch on both of them, on all of them. So got that, and where's my little, just give me 2 seconds. I've done it wrong. That should have been that way. Okay, no problem. Alright, take that one down. So there we are. And this one's coming down 1 inch, and this one's all right because there's it's boob page on both sides, so that's fine. So that's 4.5, so that's 3.5. And we'll worry about the page length and you can do different papers if you want. I'm not on this one. And this one is coming down. This one's 5.5, so that's coming down. I'm just making sure that I've got it, so that one's coming down 1 inch. Still got a little bit of attachment there. And there we are. So we've got pockets. So it gives us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's actually too many. So I think what we're going to do is we can do 3. And I'm back. I just had a phone call to take. So Normally what would happen is that would go there, that would go there, and you'd have all these pockets. And you would probably have different papers. So you would have that one there, and you would have maybe a book page there, and then you would have that one there. No, you wouldn't. You would have a one there, and so on, and you would have all these different, but I've only got 3 bits of paper, 3 sheets of paper, so that's what I'm working on. So we are going to do just 3. I might do a little one. I've got some of these little tiny offcuts, you know, when I was cutting these bits, and I quite like that. I think I've got another one somewhere, but if not, might put a little tiny one there somewhere. Oh, there it is. Like that. Or I might just have a one like that, and I'm just going to go with the flow and see what I quite like. So what I do want to do is I want to bring that to the same length as that, and I'm just going to use my scissors. And I'm just going to take that down a little bit more. That's it. Because obviously we cut the end off that had the lowest part on it. See, and I quite like that. It's like a crisscross pocket, and I do like that. And while I was away, I did put a cover. I started to put a cover on my bee journal. It's not finished off. I need cover on there. I need bits in here. It needs stitching round. I've stitched round parts of it. Obviously I've been bending it, so it needs sticking in better. I think this was the one that we were going to do it on, was it? Yeah. So where's my ruler now? Normally that is, well, that's 5 3/4, but I want it inside the stitching. No, I'm definitely going to have it on that one. I'm going to have it inside the stitching, so I want it kind of, I think we'll have it 5 inches. So what we will do is we'll get one of these boards. Now these boards go up to 5 inches, and what I want to do is I want to keep, it goes in a slant, I want to keep this end, and I want to put a crease line at 5 inches, because that's the bit will turn in. Again, keep the lowest. And again. Okay, so now I've done that, I'm going to colour the newspaper, the book page. But I am going to trim these. And I've got my silicone mat here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some, I have some coffee dyed coffee. It's actually got liquid washing detergent in it that keeps it, stops it from going mouldy. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to dry that off. It just depends what I'm doing. So this is going that way, and I'm just going to mop this up because I am going to put some other colours on. I'm going to use, is it Fire Brown? And this is Harmony Spectrum Noir. And we'll do some, doesn't matter. And again, and what I'm wanting is I'm wanting to get it a colour that will kind of complement these two. So I think we'll have a bit of wild honey in it. And this is a an oxide. Oh, if you can hear banging, it's there. We've got the bin men. Yep. And again, we'll try this. Dries quite quick, and I think we might put a bit of dried marigold or rusty hinge on it as well. And then what I am going to do is I'm going to go for a dark colour to just a tiny bit. Tiny bit of ripe persimmon, just mix it in. And when you see it's kind of dark when it's wet, they do lighten up, so you can go, like your inks look kind of dark, but you can go quite dark. So there, now we've got some nice orange colours going there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a look. So there, what you have to watch is it's starting to blend in then, which is I don't want, but that will be fine because I'm going to go over it now with, I'm just going to wipe my table. Okay. And I'm going to use seal brown. See how dark this is. Yeah. And again, I'm just bringing it in. Just to break that off. Yep. And then I'm going to do the same with this one. Because it is be grungy, so we want a little bit of grunge. And again, we'll wipe that. Right, I think we'll just keep that down just for a little while longer. And so this, and what I might do is this is strong paper, but what I am doing is I'm just going along that edge, and I'm just gonna just take it down. And again, that'll show a little bit there, so you just trim that off. And we'll have a little bit of ground espresso just to go on the edge. And then we'll just put this down. So the flap, now what you can do is you can have it just like a tuck spot, but I want it a pocket, so I'm doing the 3 edges. But what I could have done was just done that edge, and this one would have been open, but I decided I'm not going to. Now, before I stick this down, don't need to put that one down at all, because that's the book page is doubled, but I am going to just do a little bit of just fold that. And again, just pull that in a little bit. So we'll do the flap. The bottom. And again, I could have this open, but I'm not going to. I just love these crisscross pockets. And then we've got a pocket there and a pocket there. Oh, for some reason I've miscalculated, but never mind. But what I am going to do is I am going to put this one, and I'm just folding it over and no more, and it's probably about 1/4 inch. Yeah, just 2/8. Yep. Okay, and again it's showing a little bit there, so we'll just take that off and we'll go around the edge with ground espresso again. But what I am going to do is I'm going to go down the sides of this one, because obviously you're going to see these. And there, does that not look cool? Straight away you've got like a helter-skelter of different pictures, and then filled with the ephemera. It just looks absolutely amazing. And again, I'm doing the 3 sides, so you don't need no thumb notches or anything in this one. And sometimes I do them where I do one on the back so that they open up and it's a pocket. You know, I do double these, and that's nice because then you've got them and you can have something open in the middle. And I am thinking of doing that, a project like that that will be free on my Facebook group, not on Ko-fi, but on my Facebook group. Now this was the one that I said that I might do, and I think I will. So I'm just going to take this point off because I don't need the point. I'm not turning the edge over or anything, because obviously it's a little shallow pocket, and we'll just pop a little tiny tag or something in it, or a little tiny piece of ephemera. So I am just doing the two sides on this one. And just making sure I get to the edge. And there we are. So we've got, let's see what ephemera I've got here. I also found this was obviously, it's an index card. So I think we might have that one, and it's got the little bee there, or we could put that in there. Yep. I've got some leaves here that I think should be flowers for bees, but usually where there's leaves, there's flowers. And so this is just a way of making a crisscross pocket from scratch. As I said, I will be doing a project that will involve sort of like some ephemera in a mini kit, but it will be on my Facebook group only. It won't be available on Ko-fi. So we've got the tickets, and I'm just inking around with whatever's left on the sponge. Right, we'll put that down there. That's just enough for that. We'll have some and what we've got, I've got just checking to see what other bits and pieces I've got. Oh, there's a nice flowery one. These are photographs. I think we might have that one. So you can use any bits of your ephemera that you've got hanging about. I think we might just have one of those in there. Nope. I'm just going to see what this one looks like in there. quite like that. So we'll go back to that one. And I think that's it. So there we are. So look, you can get a lot more in these pockets, and it doesn't take up too much room because it's all flat. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 pockets, and you just measure, you know, the width that you want them on your page, the height, and then how far. If that's 3 inches and you want it to come down an inch, so it's 3 inches there, 2 inches there, or 3 inches to 1.5 inches, whatever. So just follow the instructions. I hope you get something out of this. I've definitely enjoyed doing this, to the point where I am going to now go away and do some templates for my Facebook group, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.